Microsoft PowerPoint 2007 Formatting Slide Masters. You know, it took me a long time to recognize the power behind a slide master. This is where you're going to find out how, if you have a super long presentation, you can make changes at the master level and they will then format all the way down through all of those slides. Slide masters, you're going to love them by the end of this CBT nugget. Every single presentation has a slide master, and so it's important for us to understand the different types of the slide masters, because there's slide masters, there is the master layout, master style. So how does that all work? We'll talk about that. Viewing or editing the slide master. How do you modify a placeholder that you have on a slide master? And then finally, we'll take a look at two other masters, the handouts and the notes master, that will help you be a better presenter. Consistency is such a big part of PowerPoint because, as we've mentioned in the past, when you're opening up slides and you're going through them in your presentation, if one looks one way and then the next one has a different font and a different color scheme and a different whatever, people start going, well, wait a minute, who put this together? You know, someone in kindergarten? I'm not really sure here. So consistency is something that's really important. And so one of the ways that Microsoft PowerPoint 2007 deals with consistency is by utilizing something called the slide masters, or what some people call master slides, and then you also have what are known as master styles. Now, I'm going to just take a second to kind of tell you the difference between the two of them, because believe it or not, this is something that you will probably encounter if you do take the Microsoft Office user exam on this for the application specialist. A master slide is the model slide from which the slides in the presentation inherit all their formatting. Now, we've already kind of seen how we can do formatting, and remember we said we got your slide here, and if you click new slide, and I want a new title slide, a new title, content, section, header, title only, comparison, those kind of things. And let's say I go do a title and content, and I've inputted these two slides. You can see them right here. Well, who decided where the title was? What decided the subtitle, the font that was going to be used? Down here, what decided that this is going to be centered in their bullets and that you can input all this stuff? Well, that would have come from the slide master, or the master slide. Now, a master style is a format that applies to many different slides. And starting from the master slide, you can change the style, and when you do this, it's going to reformat all the slides that are downwind of it. Now, these are kind of interesting because, you know, a lot of people say, well, okay, what do you mean by that? Well, just think of it this way. The slide master is the king slide. It is the one that rules the overall formatting with the placeholders, the type of fonts, and things like that. Now, this master style is things like you can change the style of the fonts, and you can change the style of the look and feel. And that can apply, again, down from wherever you've applied that style. Now, to show you this, you have to go over here to View, and you'll notice that we have three slide masters, or three masters that we can look at. The slide master, which we're talking about right now, which deals with all of the presentation, in other words, what you see on the screen. The handout master is, you guessed it, this is where you have the printed handouts. You can pick how many slides appear on the handouts. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Notes master is for your notes as a presenter. How do you want them to appear? What kind of formatting do you use? What kind of font do you want to print out or be seen on your notes page? So these are masters. These, again, provide that consistency all the way. For example, you want the fonts on one side and the size of that font for the title to be consistent from one slide to the next. Maybe you want the placeholder text frames that are in the exact same positions. Things like that are all going to be done with the master slides and the master styles. Okay? So, let's take a look at this in just a little bit more detail by clicking on Slide Master. To view any of them, you have to kind of come over here under View, and then you click on Slide Master. So once we click on the Slide Master, look, your screen has changed. Look at this. You've got a new tab here on your Office ribbon called Slide Master, so that way you know. If it was the handouts, it would say Handouts Master. You can insert new Slide Masters to the presentation. You can insert a new layout to the particular presentation. We're going to see how that works. You've got your placeholders that we'll talk about, the titles, the footers. You can use the themes that are associated with this master slide. And of course, you can do a lot of things like the backgrounds. You want the background to remain the same throughout that particular presentation. Not a problem, you can do that. The page setup, the slide orientation, all things that we looked at. And then you'll notice that you can close the master view to get back to just doing things. Because remember, if I do something on here and I'm thinking I'm editing my presentation, no, I'm not. I'm actually creating something that will appear. So if I went down here and added a text box and did something like a placeholder and typed something in it, that will show up on every single one of your slides. You're like, well, why can't I edit it? Why can't I click on it? Well, it's already locked into place, so you got to watch out for that. Always look and see if you're in the slide master view here. To get back again, you just close the master view, and that'll take care of it. So if we click on one of these slides or anything like that, it really doesn't change too much. But if we go over here to view, remember, we click on the slide master, and then look what it does. It actually shows us the slide master or the master style for this particular one. Now watch this. Here is your master, the slide master. The slide master is going to tell you that your titles are going to use this particular font. If you use bullets, the first bullet will look like this with this text. We'll look at this bullet with this type of text, this bullet with this type, 4th level, all the way on to 5th. Now you can add more. If you want, you can make these changes, as you're going to see here in just a little bit. But these are all have to do with the master slide. Now watch this. There is the slide master, which deals with the overall formatting, and then each one of your styles for your layouts, your title slide layout. Take a look at this. It says on the title slide, whenever you insert a title slide layout, you will use this placeholder for your master. You're going to use this for your subtitle, and these 3 things will appear down below. This is going to be your date, your footer, and the page number. The title and the footers over here. Now you can remove something from here. As you can see, if I take the title off, show or hide the title placeholder, and then now you no longer have the title here. So you can do that. Or you want to get rid of all the footers. You can click down here, and it gets rid of all the footers. So then you can click over here. Now notice what happened, though, when I brought the title back to the page. It went ahead and followed the slide master rule, which is, look, here is where your titles are. What had happened is when whoever created the office, the official office theme in the slide masters, they had changed on the title slide layout, the formatting, by dragging the placeholder down here and then maybe changing the font or doing something to it. Now, of course, you are going to have this as your title slide. So anytime you add a new title slide, it is going to go ahead and place the title here. Now you can do a lot of different things, and we're going to show you how to edit these particular areas. But just so you remember, the master slides and master styles. The slide master, when you click on the first slide and the first slide appears in the slides pane, this one is the King Poobah. Any formatting changes you make to this affect every single slide in your presentation. And really what you're doing is, remember how we showed how we added themes and everything? The themes apply to the slide master. Now, just so you understand, formatting commands that you give to the slide master are throughout the entire presentation. The theme design, the colors that are applied to all the slides. If you want a company logo to show up, you might want to place the logo on the slide master. So this is the bigger one. Just remember, it's bigger because it's the king. It's the king of all slides. It's the slide master. And it tells you what you're going to do here. Now below that, we showed you that these are the layouts. Now you choose whatever layout you want from the new slide drop-down list. Let me go ahead and close the master view here. And remember, that's right here. The layouts that are available to you are simply clicked here, and then these are each one of the layouts. Notice there's the title slide that we had, title and contents, which we have here, section headers, each one of these, okay? So these are all going to be these ones that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right here, and we probably have even more. But now watch this. If I click off here and I come back here to view and I go to slide master, you'll see here's the title slide, here's that slide content one, here's the we have this one is the section header layout. You have the to content layout. You've got the new new master slide here, the comparison, comparing two things maybe, and you give names to each one of these, and you have all these different layouts that are available to you, and they're all assigned to this master slide. Now, what if you want a new layout? Well, you can do a new custom layout. So all you need to do is click Insert Layout, and now look what happened. Now it starts off with, yes, again, the basic formatting from our slide master, but now I can create a new layout, whatever I want this to be. So I can say, we'll take this. I'm going to hit delete so I don't have that placeholder. I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture. We'll put it right here. So this is going to be a picture layout, and then I want to insert maybe a piece of smart art over here, and so it's going to be a smart art graphic. And so I can take the date off. So I'm deleting a few things. So I'm creating this custom, right, slide master. Now what you can do is when you right-click on it, you can now rename this layout, because right now, if I look at it, it just calls it custom layout. Okay, that's not much of a name. But if I right-click and I rename the layout, it says, well, what do you want to call this? And I'll call this the Smart Art Picture. And I'll rename it. Now watch what happens. If I click off it and I drop down here, this says it's the Smart Art Picture Layout, and currently I'm not using it for any of my slides. Now, of course, I can come down here and I can say, all right, we can close the master view. And I come over here into my new slide, and you've got all your different things that you can choose from here from your different slides. But look at what one of them is. My Smart Art Picture Layout. I can choose it now. So it's part of those layouts that I have in place. So that's what the layouts do for me. So let's go ahead and come back here, come back to View, and again, look at the Slide Master. Now there's also the Slide Master, and each layout you can edit what are known as the master styles. Now the master style is how the text is going to be formatted on the individual slides. Now if you do it, the master style on the master slide, I know this is, we're using a lot of masters here. This is the master slide. If I change the master style, you change the look on every single slide throughout the environment. Now, if I change the master style on this particular layout, guess what? Only slides that use the title slide layout will have that master style applied to it. So basically, why would that be interesting? Well, let's say we're doing sections. Let's say I'm doing a long presentation. Let me kind of give you an illustration, maybe kind of bring this home. I'm doing a presentation. There's 5 people presenting. I've got, let's say we went and did a CBT Nuggets presentation. We got Dan Charbonneau, our CEO. He's going to be first up and kind of introduce things. Then we're going to have Jeff, one of our Top Guns president guy, come out and do something. And then James Conrad and Jeremy Chara, some of our top instructors, are each going to do a small section. Well, at the end of each section of the presentation, you're going to hit a section slide, and it's going to introduce the person. Well, what happens if you go ahead and you start inserting a slide, a section slide, and each person's name has a different font, has a different look and feel? Well, no, because I supply a master style format where it uses a font and it uses whatever it is, the style format here, it will be consistent every time you add this new layout into the presentation. See how that works? Now, of course, if you apply it up here at the master slide, it will then trickle down. Every single one of these layouts, by default, unless you manipulate them, will have the master slide layout. It's just an easy way to make changes for the entire slide. All the bullets will look like this. All the titles will look like this. Okay? So that is how we edit the slide master. We also see how we edit the layouts and, working through this. Now, if you want to do this, whatever you want to do, remember, just any changes you hear, this is now going to be the slide masters and how things work going on down. Now, you'll notice that we can also insert another slide master. Well, wait a minute, Chris. Why would you want to insert another slide master? Well, remember, sometimes you need to have a whole bunch more information that you might want to add to a particular presentation. And so you can create the new slide master. And if you go ahead and click on it, notice what it does. You now have the second slide master where you can have different slide masters. So you might have one for first type of the presentation, and then you want to apply to all other things below this. You can apply a second slide master. Now the reason why you might want to use the second masters, again, maybe you want your presentation to have 2 or more different styles or themes. Well, that way you can have a slide master for each one of those different themes. And so you'd have one slide master for that one, and then again you'd have this, the first one here, and then you just come down here, and again you have that. Now you'll notice something that's interesting, and this is kind of something that's a little exam worthy, is you'll notice that I've got this little sticky pin here. Well, what that means is that this master is preserved. Now, why you need to preserve is because sometimes PowerPoint can get a little happy with itself and and kind of run ahead of itself, and it can actually delete a slide master. Now that means that if someone goes through and they want to delete some of these things that you see here, well, what you can do in order for you to or maybe apply another design template over that. Well, when you apply to all the slides that follow that master, what you can do is you can preserve the master so that it isn't automatically deleted in these cases. So in other words, if you're on one of these slides, doing whatever you want to do, in your presentation, and all of a sudden you go, I want a new design theme, and you click on it. Well, guess what? It will be able to preserve, on the slides that already have it, it will then preserve those content that particular master slide. So that's what that preserve is. By the way, you turn that on either here on this button, or you can right click and you can preserve the master. If you don't, what will happen is if you click off of this and then someone applies a particular different theme, all of a sudden all those things are going to be wiped out and it's gone. Ooh, that's not good. You don't want that. So you want to make sure that if you do apply these, you might want to make sure that they are preserved. Now, a slide master is preserved by default in some cases. Anytime you insert, copy or paste or drag a slide master into the master view, or when you add a new design template, which automatically inserts a new slide master, the original one will be preserved by default. But if you have more and you make some changes, you might want to watch out for that. Okay, so let's get in here and let's actually change a few things that we see here with our slide masters. So let's go ahead and open up my Acme Vision Presentation 2 now. And so we'll go ahead and done that. I'll update my links. Remember, this is a linked one. It's going to go through and do that. And then once we've updated the links and we're set up and ready to go, let's take a view or a look at our Slide Master here. Remember, we go over here to View, and I go over here to Slide Master, and I click on Slide Master. Now, check this out. Here is the Slide Master itself, the big grand poobah, and it says that you're going to use this particular font. If you click in here, you can see that the fonts you're using, whatever they are, you can choose. Right now, it's using the Office, the Ocean theme fonts here, and you can make changes here. If you go to the home, you can see that it's a Tahoma heading. By the way, we're still in Slide Master view. Notice the Slide Master is still over here. That's why it's careful, because you'll be like, oh, I'm editing slides. No, you're not. You're looking at the Slide Master view. It'll also remind you down here that you're in Slide Master view. Here it says, okay, you're using Tahoma, you're using a drop shadow, and it's 44. It's also left aligned. Okay, this is the standard for any titles. Remember, all slides, they're going to have a title for the slide, and then you have your master text. When you put your text boxes down here, how it's going to build those. And again, if I click down here, I'll notice it's Tahoma body. It's 32 with the drop shadow, and it's using particular bullets. Now, what's interesting is that each one of these, right now I'm on the main bullet, and that looks like this. And now what you can do is if I come down here to second level and I look at the bullets, it's going to say you're using this. Come down to the third level, and it's going to say, oh, you're using this again, only just smaller. And then down here, and you can see all these different ones that you're doing. Now, what it's interesting is if on the master, text style here. If I want to, I can change how these bullets look. This one uses the little thing, but on the fourth level, it looks almost like the second level. So I come here to the fourth level. I come over here and I can say, all right, I want to go to bullets and numbering, and I want to go ahead and customize this particular bullet. Now remember, I'm applying this to the slide master. So I go over here and I click customize, and it says, well, what do you want to do? Well, let's say that I want to use a different picture, that I want to use, and of course, you have all different kinds of, symbols and things that you can use for bullets. I mean, there's all different types of things that you can use, and you can come down here. One of my favorite ones is wingdings. So if I click on wingdings, you got little things you can use. All of these are really neat. Happy faces. Little bombs if you're doing maybe a pirate movie or something like that. But let's say we want to use a open mailbox. So if I click on this and I click OK, open mailbox, and I click OK, and I click OK, now you can see right here, and I'll click off of it right here, that you've got an open mailbox is going to be your fourth level. Now you can also make some changes if you want to show or hide the ruler. If I show the ruler right here, you'll notice that I've got these, and if I click on a certain bullet, it shows me where the bullet's going to start, and then also where the text is going to end it. Now, notice how that text kind of backs up against the mailbox. Well, I can say, well, I'm going to move it over just a little bit. Notice how it moved over there? And if I move it over a little bit, now it's right there. Now, of course, I'd have to go to my fifth level and then move that entire bullet over just a little bit, and including the text, and then that'll make it look a little bit better. Now remember, what I'm doing, I know I've said this before, but I'm not editing a slide, I'm editing the slide master. Now why is that important? Well, let's say that we've done that, and let's say that we want to, on the slide master, this is how we want the bullets, and we don't want the date box to appear. By the way, the date, the footer stuff, can only be changed on the slide master. You can say whether they appear here on the other slides, layouts, but here's where you make any edits to the footer and things like that. So let's go ahead and select the date. We'll get rid of the date. We'll leave the page number, and we'll leave the footer. Okay? So we've done that. I come back over here to Slide Master. I go ahead and I close the master view, right? So that's good. Now I'm back to Acme Musical Instruments, and if you look, everything, all I've done is I've changed it. Now right now, you're not going to see anything. Why? I haven't used any of the bullet types. So let's go down here, down to there. Let's go ahead and add a new slide, and we'll do a, let's see, which one do we want to do here today? I think title and content will work fine, because here we have our bullets. So remember, now you look, I'm on slide view. I don't have the slide master up here. It doesn't show up down here, so I'm actually making an edit to my slide. So I'll just say, we're doing Acme Musical Instruments. I'll say, more fun with instruments. And I come down here and I click in the text box. Now remember, my placeholder. So I'm going to type in first bullet, and I hit enter. Now remember, I can change the level of my bullets by either going right here, increase my list level, and notice it changed to the hash mark. So I can say second level bullet. I hit enter. And now I'm going to increase it one more time. This is third. Yep, that's right. Got the little dot there. This is third level. Now watch this. I hit enter. I'm still on third level. I increase the indent, and aha! You can't really see it down there too much, but maybe now you can. I have to hit the space bar to activate the bullet, and you can, or as soon as you start typing, and I'll say, here's my mailbox bullet. I think I'm spelling bullet right. There we go. So now you can see by simply changing the master. By changing the master, now anytime I do bullets, and if I get to the fourth level, it's going to go ahead and give me that little mailbox. Now someone says, well, Chris, what if I don't want it? Yes, you can change it if you want, but remember, anytime you make a change to a slide and format it, you're not being consistent. That's why it's better, and there's my number one rule, and we'll talk about this in doing presentations. Use the slide masters. It's a good idea to create the slide master before you even do anything with your slides, because that way, instead of having to make changes afterwards, you've created the slide master. All the slides you add to your presentation are going to be based on that slide master and any of the layouts that you change. And so now you can just hit Insert New Slide, Go. Insert New Slide, Go. Insert New Slide, Go. Do you have to worry about the picture placeholder? No, it's where you want it to be on every single picture smart art graphic. Do you want to worry where the bullets are? No, you don't have to do that. Again, it's because it's all set up there and ready to go. So that's how we can do that. Now again, if we go back here to View, and we go to our slide master, and let's say I wanted to add another placeholder to one of the slides. And if I come down here, this is the blank. All you need to do is come up here to the Insert Placeholder and choose any one of these, and it will then add that to either a layout slide, or even up here, you can go ahead and notice in the master slide layout, look, you can't insert the placeholders. You know, you got all that stuff taken out because why? You know, oh, wait a minute, because you're on the slide master. You would need to create a new slide master and then add the different changes that you want. Placeholders and things like this, these only do, the slide master deals primarily with the master's title style, the text styles, and things that you see right here. Now, what about those other ones that we talked about? Let's briefly show you. Close this master view. We'll go over to View and check out Handout Master. When you click on the Handout Master, what it's going to show you is this is how your handouts are going to look. You're going to have some kind of header information. Maybe put the name of the presentation there if you want, the date. You can put footer information, the page number, and then right now it's going to print out at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the slides. That's going to be on the handout. Now, you can say, well, I only want 4 slides. Or I want 9 slides. Or you can say I want to put the slide outline instead. I mean, you can choose how you want that to appear. You know, you might say, well, I want the 3 slides and then I want room for notes that people can take next to them, because these are going to be the handouts that I have. Again, we can change the slide orientation to portrait. We can change the handout orientation to something different. And you can select and choose what you want. Now, you can also, check this, edit the themes. Do you want the theme to kind of print out? Do you want to keep that or change the theme of the handouts? Maybe you've got this really interesting color for the screen, but it doesn't look real good when you're trying to print them out. Well, you can change the theme of your handout as well. So that's the Handout Master. Close that one. Come over here to View again, and then there's the Notes Master. Now, the Notes Master is what, when you print this out, this is going to be up there on the podium with you, and when you're clicking through your PowerPoint, you can know what slide you have, and then you can put your notes down here. And again, this is where you can come down here, you can change the different levels here of the text as they appear. You can add the slide image, you can remove the slide image. You know, you can do that. You can take the body out or add the body, take the page numbers out. You can check these things. You can change the notes page orientation. Notice this works better because you can fit more text here rather than if you do a landscape, you know, well, maybe that is better. Now you can get more notes. So, you know, you choose which way you want your notes to print out, and then that way it'll make it easier for you as a presenter. And that's pretty much what you do. Same thing, change the fonts and the themes and the things like that, which only apply to the notes that you print out. Some really important things that we covered in this CBT nugget. Number one, remember the slide master that we have and the different types that we have. We have a slide master, which is the king slide, the top slide in the hierarchy that has all the information about the backgrounds, the fonts, where you do the placeholder sizes. And then you have your master layouts and you have your master styles. We took a look at that. We saw that we need to go to the view and then click on the slide master in order to start editing your slide masters. We also saw how you can modify a placeholder, where if we change the bullet levels and what they look like, so that way next time you put up one of those slide texts, it had the changes in place. And then finally, we took a look at handouts and notes. Very important components when you're doing a presentation. Well, guess what? In Microsoft PowerPoint 2007, you have the capability of changing the look and feel of your handouts and your notes as well as the slides. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.